Case Study 6. The memory of the day I got circumcised along with my younger sister is still clear as daylight. I was only 4 years old. The cutter came to our house and my mum and grandmother called us in and said it's time and that I should go first, as I was older and shouldn't make a lot of noise. I got inside the house and the cutter had her stuff ready, and my grandmother and auntie held me. As I was screaming, my mum couldn't take it and left the room. My grandmother kept telling me how they all went through this and the screaming wouldn't help. I bled a lot that day, and if it weren't God having other plans for me, I wouldn't be here right now. My sister was next, and at this point I couldn't even warn her about the pain I was feeling. Few days went by, and one day I fell over whilst I had the stitches on and ended up breaking some of them off. I told my mum, as she kept a close eye on how I was healing, and she said to not mention it to others, as it would mean I would have to go through the experience of getting stitches again. As a child, I didn't think much of it then, but now, when I know better, as much as I was the victim, my mother and other family members who are females are also victims. It was a vicious circle that kept going around from one generation to the next. As time went on, I came to UK, I got married, and that is when being cut started being a huge issue in my life, as it was painful to have intercourse. Period pains got worse, and while being pregnant with my first child, I had to be opened so that childbirth would be more comfortable. Psychologically and emotionally, it affected me, and it probably will for the rest of my life. I live with the effects, such as endometriosis, painful periods, and regular water infection. This made me question why a woman cut another one's womanhood and made it into something to frown upon. The one thing that makes us women that we should be proud of. The women in the practicing communities have learned to conform because of the fear of being stigmatized and not being able to belong in the community. They tend to fall in line rather than challenge the norms and the values of those practicing this act. Even when the process can lead to death, water infection, constant pain, shock and bleeding, and sometimes organ damage. Because the cutter uses the same blade on all the girls, the spread of diseases such as HIV becomes more widely. Emotional scarring follows one through life, and this can cause depression and sometimes nervous breakdown due to relationship failure, as the pain of intercourse becomes unbearable. It is imperative to understand, not to judge the practicing communities for their cultural reasons for practicing FGM. We need to inform them about the harms and complications that come with it. The solutions on how to end the practice should come from those who lived experiences from the practicing communities. Anonymous, unpublished.